Hello everyone, welcome to our show. Today we are going to talk about opera. You might think that opera is boring or is not interesting and maybe you can fall asleep in the middle of a show. That's what a lot of people think, and that's why several musicians and several plays have been so boring. But on today's episode, we are going to learn more about opera, the different styles, and how is it nowadays. Welcome, let's start. Let's go to the opera. It's always good to know the origin of all the things that we know. In this case, opera. Let's talk about the opera throughout story. The origin of opera took place in Florence, where a group of artists and professors used to gather, and they were called Camerata Florentina, between 1570 and 1580. This group tried to bring to life the forgotten dramatic art of the ancient Greek tragedy. Let's talk about one of the most important ages in opera, the Baroque opera. The Baroque opera spread all over Europe and had a huge success. Nevertheless, it was abandoned for 2 centuries because it was considered as empty and pompous, but its purpose at the beginning was to entertain the sight and hearing. After this period, opera passed throughout different ages: Rococo, Classicism, Romanticism, and the 20th century. Between 1850 and 1950, two of the best and most famous pieces of modern opera were composed. The terrific opera Carmen in 1975 by Bizet, a famous, brilliant French composer, is divided in 4 acts, where the daily life is shown: hard-working people, tobacco companies, gypsy smugglers, bullfighters, and soldiers. All these scenes were accompanied by Spanish music and dance. Then, the famous cantata Carmina Burana in 1937 by the talented German Karl Orff was composed, and it was about life in medieval age. He also wrote short operas like De Amont in 1939 and Die Kluge in 1943. Both were based on fairy tales. A lot of people consider boring or tiring to go to an opera show, but today I want to tell you about my experience. Fortunately, these last years I have been listening to some modern opera singers, and I found this amazing Australian singer named Lisa Gerrard. She has made important pieces of music for some soundtracks of awarded films, for example, The Gladiator. I share with you 2 links for you to listen to a couple of her best songs. The first one is Ambient, and the second one, The Gladiator theme. Once you listen to the songs, I am sure you will never find opera boring again. And furthermore, you can suggest this to your friends to make them know that opera is not as bad as they think.